William Shakespeare was an English poet and playwright, widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's preeminent dramatist. His extant works consist of about 38 plays, 154 sonnets, 2 long narrative poems, and several other poems. His plays have been translated into every major living language and are performed more often than those of any other playwright. In Harold Bloom's Shakespeare, The Invention of the Human, Bloom states that Shakespeare is not only the greatest literary genius to have ever lived, but the greatest intellect of all time, so far ahead of anyone who came before or after him. He represents the outer reaches of human intelligence, and when we read his plays we enter territory as yet uncharted. As Bloom puts it, no one yet has managed to be post-Shakespearean. The great critics of the English Romantic period are also fascinated by Shakespeare's work, but they mostly viewed his genius as a creative power. No one else, they believed, came closer to capturing human nature in all its variation. Shakespeare's brilliance had little to do with power of observation. Shakespeare captured so much of humanity because he looked deeply into his own mind to find everything he needed to know. The character Falstaff is found in 3 of Shakespeare's plays. He is one of the comic villains, open and unashamed about his crimes. He is disloyal, self-determined, and self-observing. He has bad habits, but he is necessary as a companion in the plays he is mentioned in. In the past, this type of character would not have been significant at all. Shakespeare gives him a depth of character not previously seen in literature. In The Art of Loving, Female Subjectivity and Male Discursive Traditions in Shakespeare's Tragedies, Evelyn Gajowski argues that Shakespeare represents his female protagonists as having a view of themselves which is independent of the males around them. They seek knowledge about themselves as adamantly as the male protagonists. She discusses Shakespeare's ability to see men and women as different beings but connected in their humanity. When William Shakespeare began to write, there was very little study of the human mind and emotions. Shakespeare defines what it is to be human so effectively that he influences those who later attempt to create such a system. Shakespeare demonstrated the difference of a human from other species by emphasizing what a human is not. He states that for one to lack the thoughts and emotions of a social being would make one inhuman. In conclusion, the human being, according to Shakespeare, is a social creature capable of great emotion, logical thought, and decisive action. A human being willing to live life to its fullest, to question and seek knowledge, has unlimited potential. One who ceases to question and follow others blindly, or one who fails to acknowledge his true self will not realize his full potential. The emphasis is always on knowledge.